certain ones or certain lengths, and some of them don't seem to have a time limit, but you get 2 attempts. So if you fall off,
we are streaming on YouTube right now. We're starting the live here on Facebook.
Okay.
Here, yeah, go ahead and check. So yeah, we are live on YouTube. That's awesome.
hey, you two.
Wow.
All
Okay.
right, you guys, we are live.
All right.
Kick it off here with your music, and you can take it away.
All right. That's pretty good. Right?
Good music.
I know.
Love good bass.
Hey everyone. Welcome to our next episode of Fun Until It's More. This is a podcast about dating, dating online, dating offline, dating in real life, re-entering dating. So all things dating. And I'm San, your host. And today we have a guest. This is Jamie. She is a physician. And, you can look over there, too. There, they can
There
see
I am.
you.
There's my name.
Yep. So she's a host. So she's our guest today. So we'll be talking to her about dating. Jamie is getting back into dating. So we'll be getting into that. First, we like to kind of kick it off and just kind of talk about our week, our dating week, or what we've done this week in dating. And then you guys all know Frankie and Shell. They're our producers in the back. We usually check in with Frankie, too, because she's also dating. So
Yes,
Frankie, yeah. Any dates this week?
I have not had any dates this week, unfortunately.
Okay.
I don't
All
know
right.
if that's unfortunate, but yeah, I am. I had a dating game show though.
Oh,
that we
yeah,
did,
that's right.
And that was kind of fun, but just kind of
Yeah.
mix and mingle and make fun of other comedians. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's been pretty mild my week.
Yeah. So Frankie is also a comedian. So she was doing a kind of reality show, dating show. So
So
we'll have to
interesting. I
talk
love
about that more.
Yes.
Another time. And how about you, Jamie? Did you have a
Yes,
date? You did
I
have a
did.
date?
Couple this week, actually.
Yeah, we might want to. We're going to talk about
Yeah.
Jamie's date later, I think, because it kind
Yeah,
of ties
there was
up.
one earlier in the week too that was
Okay.
just lovely, absolutely lovely.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good. So we'll talk about that. I think because it's Jamie's coming at dating from a different, a new direction, which is kind of fun. So it's kind of tied to her dating story, I think. So yeah, and then me, yes, I did have a date this week.
Do tell.
Yeah. So he was a nice guy, we went and had coffee. And he's a teacher. And, first, I don't know, within the first 5 minutes, I realized he lives in Wisconsin. I was like, he's told me where he lived. And I was like, I don't even know where that is. And he found out it was in Wisconsin. I said, I thought you said you lived in Minneapolis. And he goes, well, I work here. And I'm like, okay, that's not the same as living here, but okay. So then, let's see. So then we had, he was telling me about his teaching. And I already kind of thought, I don't think this is for me, this
What
guy.
subject, by the way?
Kind of everything, because he teach younger kids, so I
Okay.
think he kind of rotates. But then he got burnt out, so he was doing special ed. And then now he's actually not even doing special ed. He's got burnt out and working for Hennepin County, helping place kids in jobs or kids with challenges, a lot of autistic kids and such. But
So it sounds like you guys had a good conversation,
Oh,
at
yeah.
least about interesting things.
well, yeah. So then I was asking him about getting burned out, whatever. And then he goes, I'm a very liberal guy, and I like to work in these, some of these places, some of these schools that are more challenging in the city and things like that. And I said, oh, that's great, And then he goes, but then, I found myself in the school yelling to a bunch of Indian kids. And I'm like,
Oops.
what?
Yeah.
And he goes, and I thought this wasn't right. And I'm like, no, this isn't right in a lot of different levels.
Yeah. So many ways.
I was like, Indian kid, okay. So I'm like, okay, there's that. And then we kind of had talked, we were talking about kids, right?
Does he have kids?
He had kids, so I was asking him about them, and then, well, the thing was, he said, well, I kind of moved back to Wisconsin because of my kids, because my son's having problems, this, that, and the other. And I said, but he had told me, I said, do you see your kids? Well, once every couple of weeks.
How old are these kids, by the way?
In high school.
Oh,
And I'm
how old is he? This is what we're going to get into that.
He's early 50s, or maybe he's late 40s. He was late 40s.
Okay.
And then so I said, you moved back for your son. It's like, yeah, because I need to help him because he's having these issues. And so then I said, but you don't see your kids very much. He goes, well, I see them enough. So
Okay.
I'm like, okay, there's another thing,
So many dynamics in people's lives.
Yes,
i-
yes.
In that age range, because divorce changes such a
Yes.
different dynamic in their
Yes.
lives, especially with
Yes.
kids and exes and all
Right.
that stuff, which is going to be part of the decluttering of all the complexities that I am going to talk about
Okay. Yeah.
in terms of dating.
Right. And but I think like the clincher was he told me he had given up beer because of his beer belly. So I was like, "Oh, okay." He goes, "But now he's enjoying red wine every night, a glass of red wine." And then he tells me they have really good red wine, $6 bottles of red wine at Walmart. At which point I'm like, oh, and I couldn't help myself. I said, is it good?
Depends on how
And he goes,
much of a connoisseur you are.
He goes, Ashley, it's really good. I'm not a connoisseur. Or
Oh, there
anything.
you
and
go.
I'm like, obviously.
There you go.
So anyways, that was my date. So not so great. Nice guy. Okay. Just not for me. So
Yeah, but you know what I take from that, and this is again how I'm trying to approach it, is you met an interesting person doing things, not for you necessarily, but a little peek into the life of someone else in the same boat.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he was interesting.
Okay,
but,
okay.
I met somebody. It's just like, okay.
Okay.
It's partly dating is about numbers, right? And he actually seemed really interesting online. And
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna
why
say.
I went out with him. And he reads all these philosophers and poets and all this stuff. And I was like, okay. But then talking to him, I realized, maybe not.
So the difference, yes, between his sort of intellectual life and his actual life.
I think a lot of it was just online.
Yeah, well,
Because when we're talking, I'm like, okay, I don't think you really are, But anyway,
so that's, the problem with online.
yeah. That is a problem with
A
online.
problem with online.
So yeah,
How do you know?
You got to meet people.
You just have to meet him.
You
That
have to
is a
meet 'em.
fact.
And that's the thing, right? I just put it down to meeting them. So yeah, I was just like, okay, another one.
Yeah.
So what about you? So okay, tell me, you were married.
I was married, yes.
Okay, and how long were you married?
17 years.
Okay.
And I dated him long distance. I mean, a different country.
Okay.
He lived in Germany. I met him in residency at Mayo Clinic. He was visiting
Okay.
from Germany. Went back. We went on one just epic date that never ended for 20 years, essentially, every single day. But he was back in Germany. So I'd go visit. Absolutely just captivated by him. It was just, for both of us, just going to happen. And also the timing was right. I was
Okay.
30. He's a little bit younger than me. He might have
Okay.
been 26. I think,
Right.
whatever. But a little bit different phases in our lives.
Right.
I was a little bit ahead of him in training. And but we just decided, we said, hey, let's do this.
So he moved here. You guys got married.
After 2.5 years, yeah.
Yeah,
It was,
yeah.
we got married in Las Vegas.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, and it was
yeah.
so much fun. It was
Okay,
just so much
great.
fun. So, unconventional. And we were married 10 years before we had a baby.
Okay.
So I was 40 when I had her.
Okay.
We had her. And just, I would say probably 7 years into the baby raising phase, it just, the division of labor issues sort of came up, i.e., why the hell am I always having to change, do the thing and the
Yeah.
school and the
Yeah.
da-da-da, and I'm starting my own business.
So there's really no division of labor. You were.
No,
doing
I was
now.
just the labor, yeah. And Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I just realized that I became invisible in my own life is how I kind of categorize that. I no great animosity. It was just that I felt my life morphing into just being support staff for him.
Sure. So then you got a divorce.
Got a divorce. Boy, that was hard.
Okay.
And I dated after.
How long?
Pretty quick.
How long did? Oh, really?
How long?
How
Before-
long did you wait until you dated?
Not long.
Okay.
No, because my head was
Yeah,
in a
what
very
were you
different
thinking?
place than it is now.
Yeah. So what were you thinking
And
when
I
you
just-
started dating? You wanted to meet somebody.
I wanted to meet somebody. I needed to feel safe again.
Okay.
Secure again, right? Unfortunately, I derived a lot of my sort of groundedness from being in a partnership.
Okay, because I was going to say you felt you needed a relationship at that point to feel secure.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Well, because I was coming out of a very unstable, so I don't think it's a life theme for me because I've always been very independent. But coming out of that divorce and the whole, rug is pulled out from
Right.
under the things and this child you're putting
Right.
in a position of, and all this stuff, and I moved out. I chose to. I
Left the
just
family
chose
home,
to.
so to speak?
Yeah, and
Yep. So
yeah, right. So
So did you start dating online right away, or were you dating
no,
like
met.
people in?
Yeah, I was just out and about, and a little bit online, very reluctantly. But
Okay.
I had, met a couple guys in the wild, and
Okay, so did you first start though? Was it online
No.
your first date? Okay,
No.
so yeah. Okay, so
No.
where are you meeting those guys? We always like to know that.
what
Where are we meeting people in real life?
the guys in the wild, yeah.
Yes.
So
Work.
basically, to
Bars?
places I was going anyway. So my favorite restaurant or something, and then I saw wow, this guy at the bar. He was working on his computer, and I kind of asked the server. I said, "Hey, do you guys know? Is he a regular here? Do you know this guy? Is he okay?" Anyway, turns out he was devastatingly not okay. But
But you went out with him.
what a journey that was. Yes.
So did you like end up asking him out?
Yeah. So I went up to
Okay.
him at the bar.
See, we want to talk. We want to know these things because
Okay.
people want to know these things.
Yeah, I went up to him at the bar, and I just said, "Hey, I just can't take my eyes off you.
Okay.
So if you are single or
Yeah.
or interested, here's my number. I've always approached dating though. I've never
Okay.
been afraid of rejection. I figure
Right.
if you don't take the shot, right? So I've always done that. And if they're interested, yay,
Yeah.
great. Let's see where it goes. And if they're not,
How long did that go for?
so that was interesting. And so there was a little bit of overlap with some other guys. There was a guy from high school I had reconnected with on
Oh,
Facebook.
okay. All
He lived
right.
in Canada. And so
Wow.
this bar guy was,
You came out running.
well,
Yeah.
it's just opened opportunities and
Sure.
connections that I wanted to explore. You know what I mean? And also, yes, I was in a very
Sure.
like a needy place.
Yeah.
This is a very dangerous place to be as a woman.
Yeah.
is that
Right.
needy place,
Right.
And it's taken me the 12 years since then to get out of that needy place. And
right.
boy, did that change the game.
Uh-huh.
Boy, did that change the game.
So you went out with these guys.
yeah.
Then
Learned a lot of lessons about narcissists
Uh-huh,
and how they sniff out needy women, for
Yeah.
one,
Yeah,
and had
yeah,
a couple
yeah.
of those along the way.
Okay. Then how did you start dating
Anyway,
online?
so my sister, she goes, what about, Match? I'm like, oh, God, no. No.
there's always that initial resistance.
Yeah, no. But then I was like, okay, all
Uh-huh.
right. So I da-da-da-da. And then just for fun, I said, okay, well, since you can set these parameters, let me think what my ideal guy would be.
And
then
what did you go on?
it was Match,
Okay.
Plenty of Fish.
Okay.
It wasn't Tinder at the time.
Okay. So
I don't even know if it existed.
Okay.
Did it? I don't even know. It probably-
Tinder's been around.
Oh,
forever,
I just wasn't.
but-
I thought it was something
Right.
else.
Yeah, I think everybody thinks, and it was really a hookup place for
Yeah.
a long time. I
So-
think maybe it's a little less of that, but at any rate.
Now it
Okay.
it
you were on
doesn't
a-
have to be that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you were on a couple.
Yeah, a couple of them anyway.
Yeah.
And I just for fun. So I was just dating
Yeah.
pretty broadly. I wasn't even
Yeah.
or finding guys pretty broadly. But one day I just said I'm going to build my ideal man. Well, I'm going to put master's degree only. I'm going to put 6'3" 3 or taller, just for fun. I don't know. I was just being goofy, and I was going to put, I don't know, has kids, because I thought I could relate to that. It could relate to me.
Okay.
Didn't put in age parameters exactly. I don't think I did. But anyway, boom, a handful of guys popped up. And I'm like, well, okay, well, let's just, because I got to start somewhere.
Right,
And
right.
absolutely fell in love with one of these guys, just lovely, but turned out to be a
Like, well, okay.
raging
wait.
alcoholic.
Well, how long did you go out with him? Like, did you really fall? I mean, how long were you guys together?
It's like 6 or 8 months.
Oh,
probably.
you were?
And
Okay.
Narcissist at the Bar was another 6 or 8 months. So Headspace at the time was serial dating. So I can't date other guys while I'm dating this guy. Even at the beginning, I had to call. I said, even if I'm remotely thinking about getting serious with him, get rid of the other guys.
Okay, so then your first online
Yeah, first
is
online.
the alcoholic.
Yeah.
Did you know? Well, you were together
know
for
at the
7.
time.
You didn't know. Like, how long did it take you?
And
to
he was
find-
unemployed and didn't happen to mention that.
And you didn't find out until when? Because
Oh.
you were with him for 7 to 8
Couple
months.
months.
Wow.
Couple months. He never really
didn't
invited me to his
smell?
house.
Okay,
Well-
there's a red flag.
The alcoholism sort of evolved.
Oh, so he wasn't really an alcoholic
well-
until you...
Well, I think he was.
dating you.
Hey, shut up.
No.
Okay, that's an
of course-
interesting point.
Of course not. I'm sure that wasn't it, but that's funny.
He was, but it was covert. So I wouldn't. I think he would drink, and I wouldn't see him for a
Yeah.
few days or whatever.
Okay.
But
No
eventually,
red
towards
flags
the
right away.
mentioned something about having to go to like a course for a DUI.
Oh
had to-
my God.
Had to- he
That
had to-
wasn't a giveaway.
it's like people make bad decisions.
You were needy at this
Nobody
point.
got hurt.
Yeah, you were needy at this point, so you gave that to him, right?
Do you hear a theme here, right? So,
Yeah.
okay, this narcissist guy, kind of insults me a lot, and he's, trying to isolate me from my friends. But hey, he's really into me.
Okay, was the sex good?
Oh my God.
Okay, well, there's always that.
Oh,
there is always
my
that.
God. I'm just
Okay.
reflecting for a moment. Anyway, yes. So then you get validated in other ways,
Right,
right? You're like,
right.
oh, I still got it.
Yeah.
Or I'm even learning new things I didn't even
Especially when you're
know.
going back into it. Dating,
Yes.
You know,
Been with one guy for 20 years.
Coming
Yeah.
from a divorce, I imagine there's a lot of like, you want validation.
Yeah.
You want to know like you're still
Yeah.
desirable.
And the sex had gone away in the
Right,
marriage.
right.
It had gone away.
yeah.
So,
So then what happened? Like, how did the end happen?
I
Did
just
you wake up and just thought?
Oh, the alcoholic guy?
No, yeah, for you. Like, did you wake up and said, "This guy is an alcoholic who's not very nice to me"?
He was just so emotionally unavailable.
Okay.
But I just kept picking away. I just kept, you know how we do? We like,
Yeah. You gonna
but
change him?
I'll be the. Oh. Yeah. Are there any words that are censored on this podcast? I just want to know what I can say.
Oh, you can pretty much say
Anything?
anything.
Okay. Because, like, fuck,
Yeah.
like emotionally unavailable. So then went from the love bombing narcissist at the bar to emotionally unavailable alcoholic.
Okay, so
to,
tell us what love bombing is, in case people don't know what love bombing
Yes,
is.
it's this glorious experience where a manipulative narcissist makes you feel like you are the only woman on earth.
Right.
And that, oh my God, my life just began when I met you,
Yeah.
and I just want to be with you.
Yeah,
And
and
the-
they kind of isolate you.
and
from
then they
your
start
family and friends.
well eventually, and if you
Yeah.
get full narcissist treatment.
Right.
So I learned so much once I realized that what was going on, but it's very insidious.
Yes.
These guys can sneak it up on you. I would just say, women, read about narcissism and watch for these red flags, because
Right.
it devastates a lot of women's lives. And I got out of it pretty unscathed.
Okay.
But it could have gone sideways in a lot of ways.
So did you just recognize it at one day, or did something happen?
You know what? I happened upon a book. I was
okay.
looking at a stack of books, and then it said something like, I forget what it said, but it was a title that I thought, was something like, why, why is it so explosive with, it was something like that. It
Why
was
is your relationship so explosive?
something like
or
that.
something?
Yeah,
Right,
something
right,
like that. Because
Okay.
it's with narcissists, it's just always
So it was like that.
Wild. Yes, and I grabbed this book and I started reading it and I'm like, love bombing. Oh shit. He did that. And then insidious insults to try to control you emotionally, and then gaslighting.
Oh yeah.
Where
the
you're
gaslighting.
and they're like, no, I didn't say that.
Right.
And they actually said it. And then you're like, am I just crazy?
Right.
You know, or
well, that's what happens when you get gaslighted.
well,
you
yeah.
start feeling crazy.
So read about this, people, because the sooner you can recognize a narcissist, the better. And that love bombing feels like the best love you've ever had in your
Right.
life. Like, oh my God, it's electric fireworks, right?
Because it's me,
warning,
right?
warning, warning. I learned that true connection comes very gradually and very slowly. And these guys who love bomb are up to no good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
good to know.
Yeah, they are up to no good.
12 years of experience.
And I had another one along the
So
way.
then you just were good. You were strong enough to just say, we're done.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Well, yeah.
Because sometimes that's hard to get, even if you recognize it, right?
Oh, God,
It's
it was
like-
so hard.
It's hard to like,
Because they scare you also.
oh.
And they'll say things like, you know, if you leave me, then, and they
Oh,
they
God.
levy threats. So this
Right.
one was malignant narcissist.
Right.
So boom, lesson right off the
Right.
bat. But I came into the relationship attracting that kind of guy because I was needy.
Right.
They sniff it out.
Right.
So I would just say don't date if you're feeling needy,
Right.
because it's not going to go very well, and they know it.
But I think when you're feeling needy, that's when you feel compelled to date.
But
right?
that
Because
so
you feel like you want somebody. But I totally
resist.
hear you.
Yeah,
Right.
resist.
So then, did you continue that for a little bit? I
Yeah,
mean,
so
not
just-
with him, but another.
Off and on. And so then the next lesson for me was this, you know, and even as a woman, if you kind of can articulate your needs, I
Right.
say, and this was at the time too, I said, I just do better in a monogamous relationship.
Sure.
I don't do well sort of dating simultaneously
Mm-hmm.
or dating a guy who's dating other women. It's just not
Right.
how I roll. And I would just like to put that on the table right now and say, if that's something you can, if you'd like to enter into that with me, let's do that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, babe. Oh, of course. Literally was on a date the next night with a different woman.
How do you know that?
Oh, my God. Because men ain't that smart sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
Because a friend of mine happened to be at this event, a nurse, one of my, happened to be at this event and said, I saw this guy there. And I said, oh, he was with his son. I think he said he went with, no, that was not his son, by the way. I'm like, what the? We literally had this conversation last night. And so the narcissist taught me boundaries. I have to set boundaries and speak what I need. So then
Right.
I spoke what I needed. This guy says, absolutely, babe. And then fucked me over, right? But I didn't really put the pieces together. I'm like, oh, well, I'm sure his son just maybe
Oh, you
looked
so you
like
kept
a.
going.
Oh,
You kept
don't
going
look at
on
me
with
like
it.
that.
We've all done. We all have stories.
So, red flag, right? Red flag.
Okay.
Red flag. Red flag. But I'm like, but he's telling me, right? So,
So you never asked him about it.
oh, I did, but it was always what? No, that's my son. So this
okay.
was a covert narcissist. This guy wasn't over the top. So I'm like, why am I attracting narcissists? And that it is. And I'm not using that term loosely. I'm not just saying,
Yeah.
oh, an egotistical guy. I'm
Yep.
using it in the clinical
True,
sense.
right.
And I'm not over applying it either. They weren't all narcissists, but the ones, boy, they teach you a lesson. But what you project attracts
Yeah.
them. And I was projecting, let's get into this relationship. Let's be monogamous, right?
Right.
So,
Quickly, would you say, or did it take?
I mean,
it'd be a month or two before you.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good at least.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I think there's some people who are like after 2 weeks, it's like.
No, but so mistake at that point was and fast forward to now, but I wasn't dating broadly enough, right?
Okay.
So I meet a guy who seems like a great guy. And at the time, then I would maybe over-invest in thinking, oh, that's a relationship that could be cultivated and be
Sure.
more than just fun.
Okay, I have to ask. So when you meet these guys, though, you were meeting other guys that you said no, or any guy
Yeah,
you
yeah.
went out with, you were like, oh, this could be something.
There were just a couple of automatic disqualifiers online,
Okay.
but I was, yeah.
By the time
But-
you meet him, it would be pretty.
Yeah, but you know
Vetted.
what? At that time, my mindset was I want to meet a guy to have a relationship
Sure.
with,
Sure.
right? And so I was culling off
Right.
perfectly great guys who may not have presented initially as relationship material or whatever that is.
Well, because they said they're not looking for that, just looking for a hookup.
Yes,
I mean, there
but
are-
now I understand that mentality.
Okay, so you dated like this, serious, wanting serious, long term, for a few years.
Yeah, probably a few years,
Okay.
and then I tell you that after the last heartbreak, I mean, devastating.
Kind
like,
of the same thing.
when it all sort of came to a head, done. I was just PTSD.
Okay.
Done. Just
Yeah.
done. I just went off the market. I just
Okay.
was like, I can not sustain another injury like this to my heart and brain and
Yeah, yeah.
self-confidence and all that stuff.
You're
I
right.
just can't do it. PTSD. I was
Right.
done. I just like, feelings lead to pain, right? Good feelings
Right.
lead to pain.
Right, right.
And so just done, focused on myself, my kid, my business, just
Okay.
did really worked on myself. Got therapy, proper, psychological therapy. Just, oh wait, why, am I a codependent or
Right.
needy, or where does that all
Right.
come from?
Right.
There you go.
Yeah. Start
Hard
recognizing
work,
that
hard
stuff.
work to get back to,
Yeah.
what wires you that way,
Right.
and then how you approach relationships that way.
Right.
And
And that
and
was
what
work.
needs you're trying to get met, and
Right.
they go back to childhood. So I'm just saying, therapy is an amazing way to discover.
Everything goes back to childhood.
I know.
Isn't that the truth?
I know. So
All
true.
our childhood trauma.
But not every woman, attracts narcissists. Some of
Right.
my friends were going, "You need to dump that guy," and I'm like,
Right.
"How do you?" No, but no,
Yeah.
oh no,
Yeah.
And they're
You
like,
weren't
"No,
into
no,
it."
I see his trouble." I'm like,
Yeah.
they have a different way of looking at things
Right.
objectively. Anyway, so
Did a lot of work.
did a lot of work on myself. Yeah, a lot of work, and there was just maybe 5 years invested in that.
So you were off the market for about 5
I
years.
would, yeah.
Wow.
I was,
okay.
I was pretty sure
And did you?
I was done. I really was.
So you didn't wish you could be.
No, I was afraid
Okay.
of it.
Okay.
Truly afraid of it. I just was
Right.
like, I don't remember dating being this way, like in college or
Right.
before I
'Cause it
met my
wasn't.
husband. It wasn't. There was no online. You meet guys, you
Right.
you just further relationships with people you
Know
know in person. Yeah, and
work with and
I can't
stuff,
meet
yeah.
guys at my job. I'm a doctor. A
Right.
hot guy comes in my office, and frankly, they do.
They might report you.
And I am a woman, not just a doctor.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, geez, but like,
yeah.
can't.
No.
And so it wasn't happening for me
Yeah.
that way. So then this phase 2, after the, 5 years of self reflection.
Yeah. And you weren't you weren't even longing for a relationship because you were just
No.
so traumatized.
Yes.
Okay.
I wasn't. I just
Yeah.
was almost like,
No.
don't even, because I'm just afraid of
Right.
you
Okay.
people, men.
Right.
Just blah.
Right.
So,
So then
and
why?
and actually, to be perfectly honest with you, there was a moment I thought, should I date women?
Sure. We all have thought that.
Yes.
Trust me.
Yes.
And honestly, sometimes I think if I could go that way, it would be so much preferable. To be
But
honest.
in other ways, because I think, oh man, women could.
Yes. They're,
Okay.
Then if you really think about it, because I do have friends too who,
Yeah.
are gay, and it's like there's problems there too.
Oh yeah.
It's like
There's
sometimes
so much
too
drama.
talking.
Thank you. So then I thought, I couldn't figure out why my interest in men just fell off the radar. Because I love dating, and I've always loved dating, and I've always enjoyed men and been confident, and I just had such trauma post.
So then what happened?
Yeah, so-
what got woken up?
So learned about boundaries and what that really means, and how you can say, no, that doesn't work for me, and then mean it.
Right.
And okay, so, and also found a kind of a little bit of a new direction in my life. I started moving towards practicing in another country of my origin, which is the Bahamas. I grew up there. And
Practicing
medicine.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
okay.
practicing
Right.
medicine. So
not practicing dating.
yeah, no, it's always. You know what? we're going to talk about practicing dating.
Oh,
'Cause
I think it is practicing.
it's been a practice. Well,
Right. But you were
Practi-
practicing in the Bahamas.
yeah. So what I did in that 5-year interim, I also developed locked up the credentials I need, the paperwork I need, and now I have a clear path in probably the next 5 years to develop that some more. So
Okay.
my trajectory and my life's path was whooshy. There was nothing after the divorce. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just got this practice. Like, I'm just going to be a mom, the best mom I can, and the best business owner I can, best doctor I can.
Right.
But me,
Uh-huh.
as a human woman,
Right.
right, who has become invisible in her own life, right, was this abusable partner in that sense, right,
Sure,
psychologically.
sure. Even though you're professional, you're
Yes.
smart, you're well accomplished.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anxiety also
it's
just
amazing.
through
isn't
the
it?
roof. Yes.
How? Yeah.
It's you compartmentalize it
Yes.
because your emotional self isn't your intellectual self
No.
necessarily. My emotional self was couldn't make a decision. There was a lot of anxiety,
Yeah.
but at work, boom, boom, bada,
Yeah.
boom, bob, bing. I'm like
Right.
all over, different person. Nobody would go,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is a woman who's racked with anxiety and can't,
Yeah, 'cause
and
you
doesn't
often-
know what she wants."
Yeah, you often see successful people. You're like, why are they all
Yes.
screwed up in their lives? It's like, well, because who you are in your personal life is not always.
It's driven by
Yeah.
different needs. It's driven by
Right.
different emotions and different confidence too. At
Right.
work, I'm at the top of my game.
Right.
I've got world-class credentials,
Yeah.
so much experience. I walk in and I know my shit.
You're not unsure.
No, and
in a
dating is
relationship,
kind of
you're
like
unsure.
so much to navigate,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So, fast forward, or
Yeah.
you tell
yeah,
me.
Yeah. So, I want to know what got you back because you are dating now, and so what got 5 years go by, and then what?
Okay, well, you know what? To be perfectly honest, and if I reflect on this, first of all, recognizing myself
Okay.
again as a whole person who is all these things that had become sort of invisible. I just started seeing them again. I started realizing I have other parts of myself
Right,
that
okay.
I would like to develop again.
Okay.
Right? And sexuality
Yep.
and just confidence in my body.
Right.
And
right.
all these
Which
things.
was kind of dormant for 5 years.
Yeah, and also on top of all that, I was going through menopause.
Uh-huh.
So this is really interesting. So menopause killed perhaps benevolently my desire to see men, and it
Right.
freed me up
So that helped
to do
during
the
those-
psychological work.
Okay. Well, that's good. It's good timing.
Whatever. I'm
Good
just
timing.
trying to look at everything
Right.
optimistically.
Right.
But
yeah.
so menopause kind of killed everything, and it was a rocky road for me. But so I thought, I know I want to date. Or I don't even know what to call it. I just want companionship. I want
Sure.
conversation. I want to meet
You want to
interesting
see,
people.
be with people.
I want it to expand my
Right.
world, and it felt like it had just contracted, right?
Right.
And I'm like, I love talking to people about things that they have a passion about, right? Mm-hmm. I love men who've traveled. I want to hear
Right.
what I want to expand my life and meet
Okay.
people, right? And so, but also went to my endocrinologist.
Uh-huh.
And I said, "Hey, endocrinologist, I never really had hot flashes, but there's other things that menopause will do to you: anxiety, loss of libido,
Okay.
weight gain, all this stuff that we think, oh, well, I'm just menopause." He said, "You do not have to live with that stuff. You do not." Put me on estrogen,
Okay.
and holy shit!
We're also providing medical advice here.
No, just talk to your endocrinologist. But I'm just saying, and with appropriate monitoring and screening and all the yada yada, because breast cancer, all this stuff, but
Yeah.
for the right person. And he said, there's nothing wrong with wanting to feel those things
Right.
again. You know what I mean?
Right.
And also,
No, there isn't.
yeah, and it helped me drop a little bit of weight. I've started working on that. I thought I'm important in my life again.
Right.
I'm important in my life.
Well, I think that's, I always say the biggest thing about dating is knowing your self-worth.
Yeah.
And know that you're you're important. You're the most important person in your life. You know?
Yeah, but I think we forget that.
Oh yeah.
Well,
and society
yeah.
tells us not to feel that way.
Yeah, because then you're selfish.
Right.
Right. And so, but then I say, you know what? When you're flying on an airplane, what do they say? Put your own oxygen mask on
Right.
before assisting others.
Right.
Right. So we spend our motherhood, our lives as wives and moms, and I was a business owner, physician the whole time too.
Right.
But going, oh, how can I be of service to these people? And pretty soon we are exhausted,
Right.
we're depleted,
Right.
we're burned out,
Right.
and we feel guilty about saying, I need
Right.
to matter in my own life.
So
I
you
wrote
got-
this dumb little poem, just in a nutshell. It's like I was just driving one day and I was like, oh, I'm invisible in my life. What is it? And I said, you don't have to do her doggy style to let her know that you're behind her. Be kind and remind her that she is a woman, not just a wife or mother or some other role she plays, you know, and it's more to it. But like, for me, that was encapsulating the fact that our spouses and sometimes ourselves, we forget
Yeah.
that there's way more to us than these relationships we're in.
So the estrogen brought you back
Yep, estrogen.
and made you feel
Slowly.
physically like you wanted to have sex again. Was that part of it? Your
Well-
libido was back?
That slowly came back. But what it did was it was a step in prioritizing myself and my health and
Okay.
my well-being, my
Okay.
feeling, right? And that probably more than anything triggered. So I lost some weight. I was exercising more, and I thought, what? I just love men. Is that wrong?
No, that's not wrong at all.
I love
So-
men, and I love dynamic men, and I love men doing
Okay.
interesting things, and I love
Okay.
I love the attention for sure, but so that's always validating, but it's not about that because that's not what feeds my soul these days.
Okay.
But
So then
who wouldn't enjoy that?
right.
Actually.
So you were thinking, okay, before you dated these men, so now you had done all this work on yourself, physically, mentally,
yep,
emotionally.
starting to sort of wake up myself out of this slumber of 5 years, and
right.
I work with a lot of amazing, dynamic women, my nurses, and we'd go out, on girls' night, which was also something I was working on doing. I need to cultivate my female friendships. And what she goes, she was on a dating app, and I go, okay, let me see. And she goes like, we are downloading this on your phone right now. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, so now what are you on? Not Match.
So it started with Bumble and Hinge.
Okay, all right.
for the more serious
Right.
woman. And then I was like, okay, interesting. Okay, whoa, okay. A couple of really amazing connections there. But as you know, they peak and then they peter off, and they just some guys just ghost, or
Yep.
they
there's
they
a
can't sustain a
conversation.
or they can't sustain communicating.
You know what I always think? You're texting in these apps, right?
Yeah, it's
Whatever you want to
texting.
call it, texting, messaging,
Yeah.
whatever. You have lots of time.
Yeah.
And you can only come back with,
Hey,
how was your day?
oh my God.
How was your weekend?
Oh my God.
Just like, that's it?
Yeah, no.
That is
so
it. You had
So-
all this time.
so any guys listening out there too, make an effort.
Right.
Just give us something better out of the gate.
And hey, I will say that I am sure men are experiencing the same problems.
I'm sure.
It's just us women talking here. That's why.
Yeah, no,
So
no, no,
you
right,
men can
no.
come on to the show and we can talk about that, because I do hear about that too. That there are things about women. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Not just the men. So
That's true.
I'll just say that to be fair. But
No, absolutely. And there
Yeah.
are some standouts, right? But then
Yeah.
they move right to the top of the, like, okay. So for me, the approach is kind of numbers, but not to reduce men to numbers, but it's just some stick and some don't. So the ones who then communicate and don't, just going to be forthright. Some men actually come in with conversations and questions about you as a human. And then some men
Exactly.
come in and just go, let's fuck. I'm like, okay, no. Because that's a dime a dozen. A
Right.
dime a dozen.
right.
A
You can
dime
get
a
that
dozen.
anywhere. And there's
that
nothing
doesn't,
wrong with that if that's what you want.
right.
Right.
But no, exactly. But
Right.
for me, that doesn't make you stand out.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That's part of the equation. But
Right.
if you lead with that, you become one of the
Right.
crowd, right?
Right.
If you lead with something else or some banter, or you have to also remember you're talking to I can speak for myself, somebody who appreciates wit and
Right.
banter and intellect.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And if you can't bring that to the table, let's fuck doesn't cut it.
Right.
Doesn't cut it. So
Right.
those
Yeah.
get unmatched immediately.
Have something interesting before the let's fuck.
Yeah. Because you know what?
Or
Let's fuck
funny.
becomes a lot more interesting
Or funny.
if you're
Yeah.
somebody I'm
Yeah. Yep.
want to talk to.
Right.
Right? And so and that may be a female perspective. That may be an over 50 perspective,
Right.
right? I should mention I'm 59 years old.
Wow.
We didn't talk about that.
No.
I turned 60 this
Yeah.
year.
Well.
So the other thing online, right? And this is where I want to go to with this is
Okay,
that
okay.
we think we have to have these age parameters. So they're like, oh, I only want to date men 40 to 50. Okay, here's the thing. That doesn't tell you anything about the man. Was what I've learned. Is there are plenty of very damaged, emotionally unavailable 40 to 50-year-olds who are immature.
Sure.
I have found that expanding my my bracket, and I went, I
Right away you
25
did? When your friend was saying, we're downloading this Hinge on your phone.
well. No, not probably right away, but it took me a minute to realize.
Like-
No, this is an evolution. This wasn't boom. I went in like this. This was like
re-entering again.
yeah, this right. So the post estrogen
Right.
resurrection
Right.
of the woman in me took on a very different. I said I can't do it the same way I was doing it. I
Right.
can't because that just ended in a world
Right.
of hurt.
And you knew that going into it
I
again.
had to be very conscious, and some of the
Right.
counseling work was how what makes me need to feel safe with a man and all
Right.
that stuff when I do not need it. I make my own money. I have
Right.
my own place. I
Right.
am highly safe.
Right.
But anxiety makes you feel unsafe, and you
Right.
look for where you're going to get that, and it
Right.
just you feel tucked in a relationship, right? So I had to get over that, and I had to force myself, and this took some work too. Force myself to go. It is not. It is not shameful or in any way subject to being irresponsible, whatever, to date men in their 20s. Okay,
Whoa.
song is like, what? No, I went to 25.
Wow.
I went 25 to 55.
So you re-enter post-estrogen.
fucking
Let's go
running.
to the 20s.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
but it took
Did
me a
that
minute
make
to
you
get
nervous? Did it make you nervous?
there. And I'll just say this: it gradually evolved. So there was 50-year-olds. There was even a 60-year-old at some point. But I just was like, oh, these guys are not compatible with
They're
me.
not interesting and fun.
Their kids are
I
grown.
totally
they have
get that.
grandkids. They've
Right.
got nothing wrong with a cabin at
Right.
the lake, fishing. But that ain't me.
That's not you. Okay.
And so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to also expand my geographic range. So
Okay.
now I'm getting guys from all over the country, and then I went global, baby.
Wow.
And so, oh my god,
So we're looking at 25
To-
to 60.
to 60.
As long as you're interesting
Yes,
globally.
yes.
Okay. And here we
Yeah.
go. This is
Oh.
what Jamie's looking at. And not only looking at, dating.
Yeah, I just want women out there to. Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
No, oh my god. I know. Oh god, I wish I could tell you about. Oh, this one.
And this,
Mm.
oh,
this one was
this is
a bit of.
pilot.
He- no,
Jamie's
he-
got a thing for pilots.
Yeah, no, but this guy, Italian. Oh, the accent. Just. Oh, I'm just. I.
Okay, so tell us. You started.
Oh.
Yeah, let's keep this on. Let's keep this reel going for people who are
26.
and for those who are
Professional athlete.
watching. These guys are young, and they have the. Actually,
Goods.
they have the six packs. That
Yeah, you
just
might
hear
see that in a
about.
minute. This. Yeah.
Okay, so
I love all these guys. I love them. Not like
Okay,
romantically, but I respect them.
but you're having
miss
fun
them.
with them.
Yes.
Okay, and how did you feel about your body? I'm just gonna ask that. Like, was that nerve wracking?
Oh man, that is such a great question.
I mean, like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Especially after you're like,
I know.
you were in a place where you're like, I gotta change my body.
Well,
I gotta
a couple
exercise,
things.
work out.
I'm a couple things. When I gain weight, I gain it in the right places, according to these guys.
Boobs and stuff.
And and the booty.
Look at how young these guys are.
5. Absolutely adore this guy. Probably 28.
Okay, so no,
And
but
we're in contact all the
the
time. And-
first time you're taking off your clothes
Yeah,
to these
uh,
young guys, what are you thinking?
Yeah. And we might see a picture of the first, not this one. Oh, I love this one. Oh, I love.
Well, we'll talk about this
Anyway.
one. But let's not. Look
They're
at
all
this one
very
yet.
unique.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
how did you feel?
Okay.
Look at she's still gaga.
I'm sorry. I'm
over
sorry. I
Oh,
keep going. Wait, I want to see if we can get to the first one. Oh, I love
this
this
guy's
guy, too.
28.
Yeah, he. Oh. Ladies, this is available to you.
Did you sleep with all these guys?
No. No, honest to God, no.
Okay.
No. 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 Some of them,
some of them,
yes.
not all of them.
But like, no, not all of them, because
okay, so how did?
while I met them or went out with them, not all of them were compatible.
Uh-huh.
Or the guy in the tux that we just saw, great guy, but he sort of just faded away. I think he met somebody or whatever. But
Okay.
so
Sure.
note to men: just be honest about that. Say, hey,
Right.
I met somebody.
That's
all I ask.
That's all I just say. You know what? The ghosting thing. Just say, hey, was fun meeting you. Good luck.
Yeah, just
That's
say
it.
that.
That's
Okay,
it.
but we're grown-ups.
Yep.
Right? So,
Right.
so the other
Right.
thing is when you're
Well, you're not looking at grown ups sometimes, Jamie.
no, you and I are grown-ups. That's what I'm
But
saying.
wait, let's get back. Before we forget.
Yeah.
Okay, stop looking at the guys for a minute. She's having great memories.
Well, these are friends of
How
mine
did you
also.
feel?
Okay, no.
The
so
first time.
The first time, highly self-conscious, and it
Yes.
affected the experience.
Okay.
I didn't vocalize it. It was kind of like, whew, you just rip off the Band-Aid and go in, right?
Uh-huh.
You just got to jump in.
You didn't say anything to them, though.
No.
You didn't say.
Oh my God, so
express your-
sorry.
that-
No.
See, I think that no
No,
matter how you
don't
feel about
say
your body,
anything.
do not say anything because I
Right.
think
And I'll tell you something.
nobody.
They
notices-
don't care.
They don't care.
They
I
don't
agree.
care.
I
And
agree.
everything you think somebody's going to notice or be critical of, I'll tell you, they don't care.
Yeah.
And they're so, and I just want to say I respect these, a lot of men.
She's too-
I keep wondering, where did they go? I respect these guys so much for never making my age an issue. They just go, I just think,
Well, they're probably looking for something. They're looking for your age too.
well,
Obviously.
so I've asked some of them.
Right.
And some of them only date older women. Whatever. If it's a kink, if they just find them more emotionally compatible with them. Some just say, I just never look at age. It just doesn't matter. They just is one up on the screen? No.
So,
Oh.
so
But it doesn't matter. And so you can kind of tell, and I've had to filter out these MILF seekers, you know. I don't know what to call
yeah,
it.
that's hilarious because there are those.
They're just like, oh, I just want to see what it's like to
Right.
sleep with a MILF. I go, well, you know,
Well, there's nothing
good luck
wrong
on
with
your
that.
journey because I'm a woman
Yeah.
who happens to be a mother, and thank you for the compliment.
Right.
But that's not what I'm doing
Right.
here.
Right.
I'm just trying to meet normal people.
Right.
Right. And so, but the thing I want to also put on the table is, you know, so I was just thinking that it could be argued that I've kind of overcompensated for
Sure.
the pain of the relationship by doing this. But I'm actually dating like a 20-year-old guy right now.
Yeah. So let's
Not 20,
So
25.
so everyone knows. So you're meeting all these guys that we're looking
Yeah.
at. You're not necessarily dating them again, but some of
Not-
them you are having continued
Yes,
relationships.
yes.
But
Very slow.
You have gone away from just focusing on one.
Yeah, no.
You're dating these multiple guys at one
Yes.
time
So
and sleeping with them not at one time, but
no, yes.
You know.
Parallel, not serial anymore.
Right.
And I've had to readjust my mindset. So, first of all, ladies, safety, 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 right? Sexual transmitted diseases are out there, and this
Yep.
is an age group where, you know,
they're doing it a lot.
they get it. Yeah, they do. So,
Well, why wouldn't you? Look at that.
Safe-
Wow.
oh, God. I'm
Yeah.
seeing him in 2 weeks. He's flying in.
Wow. Oh,
For a
yes,
date.
that's the other thing. So Jamie's doing globally.
Global.
So people are actually flying in.
Yeah.
And you're
and it's not like some. So it's just if you connect with them, distance doesn't matter. Listen, that's how I met my husband. We flew in.
Right. I know.
We flew in. I flew there. We had we'd have these 2-week honeymoons, we called them.
Right.
So we'd have 2 weeks here, and then
Yep.
he'd fly here, we'd have 2 weeks, and go back there. So this flying in concept, I don't want to make it sound, other than it is, which is
Right.
if you have a connection with somebody, and I've talked to these guys for months.
Okay.
FaceTime,
Okay.
text, and they're daily connections
Wow.
such that
Wow.
and nobody is under any illusion that I'm not dating other people, and they're under no illusion, and I'm under no illusion that they're not dating other people.
Right.
In fact, we talk about it.
Okay.
We talk about it.
So you're both fine with that. Everyone knows that. And so at this point, you're not looking for a relationship.
Not specifically.
I shouldn't say that. You're not looking for a monogamous long-term relationship so much as someone that you're hanging out with. You guys see each other occasionally, and it's fun.
But I'm not looking for that either.
Right. You're not looking
Right.
for that. But
Yes.
you're
but
not really expecting it.
No. And that is a fundamental shift in my mind.
Okay.
In these last many years. Then I'll tell you what, it works phenomenally, exponentially better for my head.
Okay.
For sure.
And you don't get the feels for any of them.
I do. But what I realize is if I get the feels and then which just happened prior to that postmenopausal
Right.
resurrection, right?
Right.
I get the feels and I think, oh, that's the one I should focus on.
Right.
Get rid of
Right.
the other ones and then just dig into that, right? But what I am realizing now is I start to get those feels for several different people.
Okay.
I don't think we're incapable of having feelings of affection for several different people. But what I used to misinterpret that is, woof, that needs to be a relationship,
Okay.
right? So now you see my reaction to seeing these guys. Oh, I love that one. Oh, that one. I love them because they bring such different things. And I'll tell you, I'm picked a couple losers, but I don't see them anymore. But these guys give a shit
Right.
too.
Okay. So some of them you're having sustaining relationships.
Yes.
But some of them you do maybe do one night stands or something, and then they fade for both of you for whatever reason. It's not like every guy you're.
Not even one night stands. I kind of am not exactly into that.
Okay.
I mean, so if you've talked to somebody a long time, connected with them, you go on a date and it's phenomenal. That could result. I mean, that's just how it goes. I mean, you've had those.
So are you going on dates, or you've talked to them for a while and you've connected and they're coming over? and you're
Rarely.
hooking up?
Rarely. No.
Rarely what?
Rarely will I have someone come over
Just
that
for
I
that.
haven't sat down to dinner with.
Okay.
And,
All right.
and casual or drinks or
Right,
something.
right,
No. My rule is, so again, this is not a trivialization of the process
Right.
for me.
Right.
It's not a trivialization of the
Right.
process. I truly want to meet. And people go, "Why are you on Tinder?" I go, "I want to meet interesting people who are doing things they have a passion for."
So that's what you're focusing on now, really, more than relation. You're just like, I just want to meet people who are interesting.
Yes,
And-
and if
and
they
I can
happen to
learn
have
from-
abs like that, are you
Right,
kidding me?
Sure. Okay.
Shit's gonna go down.
So okay, so now you're kind of seeing this 20-something-year-old.
Which one?
Oh, well, let's talk about your date last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and here he is.
Hey!
He looks about 20 on spring break.
Absolutely, just
He's a wrestler, so...
no. He's not the wrestler.
Oh, he's not the wrestler. Who was the other
There's
wrestler?
a different wrestler.
Oh, that was a different guy. I thought it was the same guy.
No, different guy.
Wow, okay.
I haven't met the wrestler yet, by the way.
Oh,
But we
okay.
talk all the time.
Okay, so this guy you have met, and you have met
That's
him.
a different guy.
Yep.
And I haven't
This-
met him yet.
You're still talking.
But look at the legs. Sorry. Do you see those legs?
Yeah,
Like
I do see that leg.
why can't women our age openly lust after that and not be creepy?
Well, yes. So we're going to talk about that, but
Right?
I think we're going to have you back on because there's a lot more to
So
talk
much. There's
about.
so much. And I want to get the opinion. So what
But-
I'm also impressed with is how these guys are open to me.
Yeah.
They're open to you.
Well, okay, so yes. Well, we're not talking about me right now.
Oh,
There's more.
okay.
We'll talk more in other episodes. But this
love
guy.
this guy.
Okay, so
And I had a conversation with him. I said, when we're together, very present.
how often have you seen him?
I have seen him now twice.
Okay, all right.
Twice.
And you talked to him for a while before
yes,
you met him.
regularly.
Okay.
And he's absolutely adorable. And he's
He looks about 20. He is legal,
He's
right?
pushing 30.
Okay, all right. All
He
right.
might even. Okay, do you see? I'm like he might even be 30. I don't.
Okay.
But it.
Okay.
Okay,
And
so,
I don't even
so you
know-
guys,
Oh.
so you've went on 2 dates with him. Have you slept with him yet?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, it's
Are
getting
you
steamy.
kidding? Look at him.
And, okay, are all these guys pretty good in bed, or some of them are, they're
Okay,
young?
let me tell you this.
And you can teach them a thing or two.
I don't even know. I want to ask one of them point blank.
Uh-huh.
Is the sex different with me or a woman of my age?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. But the thing is,
You
so
have to ask him that.
Yeah.
I'll ask this one then. I can talk to these guys
Okay,
about that.
so is this your date last night?
Yeah.
This is why she had to stay hydrated today. Oh, Jamie
That's why
came
I'm
in and goes,
hydrating.
I really need to
I'm
hydrate.
hydrating a lot.
So this one, you would
I'm
say
not
is pretty
trivializing
good
this.
for his young age and experience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. Also, some guys who have not dated a woman of our age get very anxious.
Really?
I try to. That's why I'm not into this. It's not about just, hedonistic pleasure for
Sure.
me. That's out there.
Yeah.
But for me, that's not why I'm in it. If you're way hotter to me if you're interesting to me.
Uh-huh.
Way hotter.
Okay.
So I'm trying to not look at packaging.
Uh-huh.
Although it's hard to.
Well, you're looking at packaging. Come on.
No, but I'm just saying.
You're looking at packaging, and then if there's something
didn't mean
good
I'm not
under
looking
the
at-
package, then you're really
Well,
on
I
lit.
mean that. Okay, we're on online dating apps.
Yeah.
It's all about the
Right,
package.
right, okay.
So I'm like cute,
So what are you- so
but
you-
not interesting, not interesting,
So
not
you're-
interesting.
You're actually talking to this guy. What would you talk to him about?
Oh my God, he does. I can't say too much, but he's totally into what he does for work, and it's so fascinating.
Okay.
And as a physician, it's stuff that's kind of a paramedical
Okay.
thing, and so we talk a lot about neuroscience and
Huh.
theories on deja vu. Like last night with this great conversation on deja vu. What the hell is that? Well, what the hell is deja
Right,
vu, right? And
right.
so he was like, oh, and we were just speculating, or
Okay. Okay.
so it was a great conversation. I'm not.
So
I mean,
let
he's
me ask
cute,
you-
but you can be really cute, and I don't want anything to do with you.
Oh, well, I
Obviously.
agree with that. I would agree with that. Okay, so now, would you say, let's say they're both interesting, the 20-something-year-old, 30-year-old,
I got
and
the-
the 50-something-year-old.
Yes.
Who's better in bed? Is it always the...
I cannot generalize that.
Okay.
No, it is not always anything. And that's the other lesson here is I have dated 40-year-olds who on paper should be a great match,
Oh, I know.
but they're immature.
Yeah.
I have dated, we had a picture of one, 26, who's amazing, communicates openly, authentic, not just so much more satisfying
Right.
to be with on
Right.
all levels.
Right.
And then I've also, and I met the opposite. There's no generalization, and so I think the whole lesson for me here is if you start to define people by a single characteristic, i.e., their age,
Uh-huh.
you miss amazing people.
Uh-huh. So this guy, have you asked him, like, what is the allure of an older woman for him?
Yes, and I did, and I asked him that last night. I said I'm going to go on this podcast tomorrow, and I just kind of let me pick your brain on this,
Right.
and he said, well.
Well, first of all,
Yeah.
is he only dating older women?
No.
Okay.
No.
All
And then
right.
a lot of these guys, and I've asked other ones too. I go, is this just a thing? Is this a kink for you? Do you only seek out older women? Some do. And some go, it was just you. You're interesting to me.
Okay.
Are you and I say, well, thank you for not just judging me by
Right.
my calendar age, right?
Right.
And a lot of saying, you don't seem like you're 60. I'm like, I guess, thank you, but
Right.
I am, and
Right.
my whole head is, or my whole life's attitude is based on all this experience, right?
sure.
And so, but I'm not a grandma. Like I don't act whatever 60s, but
Right.
it's just an unfortunate number
Yeah.
associated
Right.
with my persona,
So
right?
what does he say? about
Okay,
dating
so
you?
interesting conversations.
Okay.
Also, that you don't dive into wanting a relationship right away. Right?
Right.
And I'm like, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Because and also that he said a lot of women think that you show them more love if they then don't have to work and you pay for everything. So there's this generation of women out there who want to just be taken care of by a man, and they think that shows their value.
But okay, so I find interesting that he's saying that.
He's saying that.
because I feel like older women
Yeah.
would feel that more than the younger
That older women would?
feel. Yeah.
Well, I would. Oh,
Tell
sorry,
me what
go
you
ahead.
tell me, Frankie.
Oh, I was going to say that, yeah, I would say that generally now there is like a newer wave of women that are younger that want a man's, like they view it like the man's money is my money, but my money is also my money.
Yeah, and
That's so interesting.
Oh, and then like I know my value, whatever.
Because I
and
know
it's-
older women who that's how they feel. And actually, we have talked about this on the show before,
yeah.
where we do feel like when you first go out, we do feel like the guy should pay, like for the first
Yeah.
coffee.
But
or
I
the
don't
first
even
dinner,
care. I mean,
but-
and here's somebody asked me, do these young guys actually even pay? This guy picked up a God knows what the bill was last night, not batting an eyelid, and he did the first time we went out too, not batting an eyelid. And I said, thank you. I said, this could have gone either way. This
Right.
could have gone
Right.
with Splitsville,
Right.
we could, what it could have gone anyway. And he goes, you know what? I just want to treat you. And I said, how amazing that feels to me, because I am always taking care of other people.
Right.
And it's not about you
Right.
being a man
Right.
and paying for this. You're a human
No.
who just wanted to
Right.
treat me to something.
Right.
Right? And sometimes I say, I want to treat
Right.
you. It's
Right.
not,
So you don't.
there's no judgment about
Right.
who pays goddamn bill.
So you feel that it is pretty.
They pay the bill sometimes.
It's pretty even. You never feel like the. I mean, have you encountered that? at
I
all?
went out with a physician
Oh, trust
to
me.
a very nice place, and he came in shorts. And the bill, I didn't expect anything, but there's kind of this bills on the table, and then now what happens? You know what I mean? And there was no movement, no movement.
Oh, yeah.
I grabbed the goddamn thing, and I just said, my treat. Because,
Right.
you know what? Let's just move this along. I
Right.
just want to
Be
get
done.
the hell out of here anyway with your shorts at a really nice place.
Okay, quick question.
Yeah.
I'm dying to know.
What?
So do you feel then it's okay for men then to date younger women? Do you feel like pretty open both genders then for older men to date like 20-year-olds when they're
Yeah, so the fact of the matter is, so the dynamic, just historically with older men, younger women, right? Just historically has been, oh, okay, maybe I don't know the whole history of why that's okay and older woman, younger man is not. But ultimately, it might boil down to appropriateness for reproduction, or
Well,
the daddy is
Right.
taking care of, paternalistic
But
something or another.
but I think what I think of it as actually when I see a 60-year-old man dating a 25-year-old girl.
Creepy.
Exactly.
I know.
So we're going to talk about that in a different
Oh, we got
episode
to.
because we do want to talk about.
And then when I go out, for example, last night, there were heads turning, and I just thought, so either they're saying, what's he doing with her, or what's she doing with him? And I can pretty much guarantee it's like, I don't know, either, or, oh, fuck, look, she must be
Right.
some hot stuff, or she hired him, or I don't know, Well, I don't know.
Right,
I don't know,
right.
but it turns heads. But the fact is,
Okay.
oh, it's time.
Yeah.
But the fact is, it doesn't matter. We had
Right.
an amazing conversation, probably better conversation than two well-matched 42-year-olds had at the table next to us.
Wow.
And there was a dynamic, a spark,
There's
just
a-
something
it's
that
exciting.
wah, wah,
Yeah.
with the table. With literally, we were watching two couples across the way who were age appropriately matched, but
Well,
there was no fun touching. There was no.
let's,
dynamic.
Let's not knock the appropriately matched thing.
It's just not for me.
There's.
Or
well,
maybe it is,
there
but
will
wow.
be, there could be.
There could
it's
be.
just
Not right now.
Not right now.
Well, so the morph that's happened to me, I went from what these
Right.
demographic that would be, suitable to me, whatever. And it slowly, I just realized, oh, wait, no, I'm having more fun with 30-year-olds. 33 was a sweet spot for a while, for some reason. 33. And then, 27, 28 seems to be these better matches right now. So I'm kind of,
Okay,
and it's not
fluctuate.
because, it's just because I'm following the trend of where I'm having the most fun.
Right, right.
Not just fun as in, again, hedonistic fun, but enjoying the relationship. People like, how's dating? I'm like, I'm loving it so
Well, that's great.
much.
So we're at time. So we're
Okay.
we got to stop. But yeah, this is really interesting. So it's really just an evolution. And right
Yes,
now,
yes.
I mean, I guess what you're looking at is, you know what? I'm not going to have parameters.
Yes.
And I think I do want to kind of talk about too, and we'll do this maybe another time, is that I think partly it's because you're not expecting a different kind of relationship.
Right.
And so
I'm just looking at it
And I
as what
think
it is, not what I hope it should be.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big shift, and that makes it work, I think. Because like that guy says, it's like you don't want a relationship right away, and so I'm just so we'll talk about the dynamics of that next time.
Yeah.
'Cause
And
I think that's
it'd be
interesting.
interesting to pick the brains of these guys and just ask them
Yeah.
what makes them so progressively open to this, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, I think when they can have that fun relationship without strings, so to speak, I think they're open to that.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I told this guy, I said, just in general, love to me, loving someone like how I love my daughter is to give her freedom in her life, not to ever rein somebody in.
Right.
That's not love.
Right.
And I said, if I were to fall in love with you or somebody else
Right.
I'm dating, to me at this point in my life, it's to give you freedom
Right.
and
Right.
develop your life. And
Right.
if that's with me, great. If
Right.
it's some not, my love gift
Right.
to you is to say,
Sure.
go do your thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a very,
Yeah.
for
It's a-
me, an evolved kind of love that I
it's a-
didn't
it's a
understand.
different shift.
Different
Yeah.
shift,
Yeah.
but I do not want to possess.
Right.
I do not want to possess. So
Right.
when we're together, we're connected and affectionate. When we're not together,
yeah.
we're not possessive.
Okay.
That's how I'm gonna wrap
Yeah,
this
this
baby.
is really great. I mean, this is a really great, way of looking at it. And yeah, you'll come back. And
I would love to.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about,
I'll bring you some more pictures.
Thinking about Bahamas and,
Oh.
what you look there for there,
Yes.
so I think
Oh,
that's
I dated-
kind of a different
yeah.
thing too. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, anyways, thanks for joining us, everybody. And this is Fun Until It's More. And we will be back next time. And hey, if anybody wants to, I don't know, send in their thoughts, comments, questions, please do that. Or if you
Be
want
kind.
or if
No
you have
slut shaming.
profiles you want to share or need help on any of that stuff, we can do that too on one of these episodes. So until then, have fun, be safe, and go find those young guys.
If that's your thing.
Oh my gosh.
So I just feel so lucky, honestly,
That's great.
these days. Yeah. Okay, how much fun was that? Boy, you got me into it. Shit, so that guy is